Today's episode is brought to you by DeFaro Pizza in beautiful downtown Cary. Greg and Valerie Norton are the owners of this establishment. They have become good friends of mine the last few years. As I performed here, they showcase live music here as well as serving up delicious pizza, garlic knots, meatballs, etc. They couldn't be more excited about helping to bring you guys today's episode of On the Record, featuring George Hage of Jack the Radio and Rima Nasser. And if you're in or around the downtown Cary area, come on down and check out some of the best authentic New York style pizza around. And if you're in downtown Cary and you don't want to come down to the restaurant itself, they deliver too. Welcome back to On the Record with Jason Adamo. On this show, we shine the spotlight on some of the Carolina's most creative people, musicians, photographers, artists, etc. And today, our guest checks off quite a few of those boxes. Raleigh-based singer-songwriter and artist George Hage has fronted the all-country indie rock band Jack the Radio since 2005. You've probably seen a lot of his artwork scattered throughout the Raleigh area, perhaps at J. Cole's Dreamville Festival or the IBMA Bluegrass Festival, or on one of many t-shirts or album covers that he's designed. George is a creative force that has made quite the name for himself and his band, and I'm excited to have him here today, not only because he's a good friend of mine, but also because he's our very first guest on our newly designed set. Award-winning interior designer Rima Nasser of TEW Design Studio here in Raleigh, along with her amazing staff, have been hard at work redesigning this beautiful set you see behind me. Big thanks to Rima and her design firm for providing this amazing space for us to shoot our On the Record episodes. And with that, please welcome George Hage to On the Record. Welcome, George.
Hey, buddy. Thanks for having me. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you being here. We have a lot to talk about. You are, like I said, a creative force in this area. You are the lead singer and main songwriter of the band Jack the Radio.
Yeah.
The band formed in 2005, I read.
So AC and I started the band in 2005 in college, playing guitar outside the dorm room. Met that way.
At NC State?
At NC State, yeah.
Right. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, and we recorded some. It was a bedroom project to start. Recorded some songs early on, played a couple shows, and then, like most bands, took a 5-year hiatus, because why not? So right around 2009 is we started, life happens, but right around 2009 we started to play again.
What was the reason for the hiatus? That just life got in the way?
Oh man, other bands, girlfriends I think at the time, right. All the good stuff.
Right. Did you begin songwriting immediately?
We did. AC and I were writing partners for a long time, and had a really good rapport writing.
Awesome.
2010 was our first full band studio album, and we've done a couple, I think 5 studio albums over the years.
Creatures being the latest.
Creatures is the latest, yeah.
2020?
2020, right. Great time to put a record out.
Oh, amazing time. You guys did a music comic to go out with the Creatures.
Yeah, I mean, that was, talking about the pandemic in 2020 was personally, connecting with people and collaborating with people is a huge part of what I love about the creative process. And that time specifically, I was feeling very alone.
Right.
Doing art, writing, being in a studio, you're by yourself a lot. So missing that connection, I was had this idea for a music comic. Started reaching out to artist friends, some artists that I found online.
You had quite a few of your artist friends partake in that.
Yes, very generously agreed to work on this project with me and collaborate with me. Cool. And by the end of it, it's an anthology, short stories based on each song on the record. 30 different artists, illustrators, colorists from
so cool.
8 different countries.
Wow, that's amazing. That led to volume 2.
Yes.
This brand new comic. How old is this? This is a few months old.
A couple months old. It came out in June.
Jack the Radio volume number 2.
Number 2, yeah.
Right. The person who designed the cover, can you talk about him?
Again, it's a lot of collaboration. So I end up curating, writing the short stories. I do all the layouts and design work, but I work with a lot of different people. So the logo is by a brilliant metal artist in Italy. Solo Mocello is the artist. The artwork on the cover is by a brilliant guy in the UK, Dave Taylor, who does a bunch of Judge Dredd and 2000 AD comics.
Right, amazing.
And this one's made up, it's not quite an anthology, it's more of a music comic, but this one's more illustrations, interviews, some features on some music comic collaboration projects, short comic in the back.
That's so cool. The idea alone is just a great idea, man, for something like
Appreciate it, man.
this. When did you realize, hey man, I can actually do this?
I don't know if you ever had that moment. I think I always question, I'm like, can I do this? Am I able to do this? But as a small kid, probably around 7, 8, 9, started drawing. My parents were, cool about getting me stuff. Only child, so I would sit in my room a lot.
Very
draw,
supportive
sketch.
of what you were trying to create.
I think that's a good time in life to get support from family.
Definitely.
As you get older, it changes a little bit. They're like, you got bills to pay. You got to figure this out a little bit more.
You're still trying to figure out what you want to do.
Oh yeah.
At a very young age.
But yeah, it was really around 2009, 2010. Picked up the pencil again. Got back into comic books. Was really inspired. The band was just putting out the first record. Mm-hmm. We had no budget for T-shirt art or album art, so they were kind enough to let me do that.
Take a shot at it.
Take a shot at it.
Everybody was just blown away by it at first? Or?
I don't know if it was blown away, but yeah, they were all very supportive.
They're like, we'll go with that.
Yeah, I think they dug it. And
awesome.
The part where I was really thought I could do this or do more with this was once we put that out in the world, other bands kind of approaching me to do stuff for them, and eventually rolling into festivals and things like that, asking me to do art for them.
Some people that we know, actually.
Yes. That was a special project, man.
This was very special to me. This is an album I put out with my band in 2020 entitled Looking Glass. And just the short story of it all is my mother passed away in 2019. And without telling George the story of this when he was designing the album cover for us, my family and I had started seeing a lot of monarch butterflies the week of her death. And when you sent me 6 album ideas for the cover, one of which had a drawing of a butterfly with eyes on it, and I was just getting goosebumps just looking at it, and I was like, wow, that's incredible. That's definitely the album cover. And I asked you if you could just accommodate me by maybe reshaping the eyes to look like my mom's.
Oh, yeah.
And I sent you a couple pictures of my mom's eyes, and you really knocked it out of the park. And now these T-shirts and stickers are all over the place.
I love it. I love
my mom's just like looking out.
I love seeing people randomly with the shirt on.
Right. And some of your shirts have been on national TV as well.
Yeah, it's wild, man. I'm sure it's the same with you when you create a song and you put it out in the world. You have expectations, but you also don't know what's going to happen with it. Right. So I created a Pegasus design years ago that people seem to dug, and a couple musicians were kind enough to wear it on. Fred Elgingham, who plays with Sheryl Crow, wore it on The Tonight Show.
So cool.
Chris Shiflett from the Foo Fighters was kind enough to wear it at a South by Southwest Pandora photo shoot.
Oh, that's awesome.
Those are the cool moments that kind of keep you inspired, keep creating.
Very cool. Speaking of being inspired, what inspired you to create this brand new music video? Your directorial debut. Shot on an iPhone and a green screen with your band. Hey, I saw it. It looks incredible.
Yeah, that was I'm probably going to butcher this phrase, second generation immigrant here. Opportunity of circumstance. Mm-hmm. During COVID, we were trying to figure out how to keep creating, keep making things. So green screen seemed like the perfect idea because you could do it one at a time. Very controlled environment. So we had a friend with a studio. I think he gave us one light. He's like, you guys figure it out. And we're like, cool. So had no idea what we were doing. Filmed it all on my iPhone. Some of the keyframe stuff wasn't quite great because the lighting wasn't quite great. We didn't do it perfectly. So pivoted into this kind of psychedelic color palette to kind of hide some of that.
Fix it in post.
Leaned into some of the low res gradients and stuff like that by adding some grain.
Looks awesome.
Yeah, super happy. Learned a lot while I was doing it. Had a blast doing it. Had fun doing it, which is one of the most important things.
Right. And folks can check it out on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Awesome. All right, well, George, thank you again for being here on the record with Jason Adamo. Hope to catch a show soon and look forward to the new music coming out very soon.
Thanks, my friend. Excited for the new program. Excited to watch more episodes. Thanks for having me.
Thanks again for being here.
till there's nothing left. This bleeding heart won't slow down until it rests on sacred grounds. Been torn apart, we didn't pack for war. Anchors up in all aboard. Yeah, swinging high, but feeling low. Could you point me to roads paved in gold? Take my hand, don't slow down. Been trapped and bound, so let me out. East Coast living to a westbound train. This locomotion brings you to your knees. We picked our sides, picked up our lives, sorting out the wrong from right. Yeah, swinging high, but feeling low. Could you point me to roads paved in gold? Take my hand, don't slow down. Been trapped and bound, so let me whistle our songs for a night to feel we're in control. Don't slow down, just let me out. Just let me out.
That was Roads Paved in Gold, the latest single from Jack the Radio, now available online on your favorite streaming app. Big thanks again to today's guest, George Hage, for stopping by. Coming to you now on location here at the private residence of TEW Design Studios owner and principal designer Rima Nasser, who, as mentioned earlier in the show, designed and constructed our studio set as our very first sponsor. And now let's hear a bit of her story.
Hi, I'm Rima with TEW Design Studio. We are an interior design firm based in Raleigh. We create uplifting and livable spaces that showcase your story. We work on residential interiors and commercial spaces across North Carolina and beyond. TEW Design Studio, or TEW, stands for To Elevate Within. Over the years, it has taken many forms and it means many different things to many different people. What sets us apart is that we are a diverse team of interior designers and we have an artful approach to design. When you work with us, you work with a team of highly educated and skilled designers to elevate your space. Recently, we have won 3 awards for the space that you're seeing today. 1 national award for the interior design, 1 regional award for the kitchen design behind me, and then another national award from the Kitchen and Bath Design Awards, even though they did misspell my name, especially in print. But show me one person of an ethnic minority who hasn't had their name misspelled in print at least once in their life. It's not just about budget and timeline or even colors. It's more about what will design do for you. It's about how can it elevate your life, your daily habits, make your family's life easier. If you're a business, how will it bring in your ideal client? All those things we take into consideration as a design firm. I have been in Raleigh for almost 11 years, and when I first moved here, it was just a small town, and I've seen it grow and grow and grow over the years. And early on, from moving to Raleigh, I met Jason and we became good friends. And when he told me that he's starting this show, I immediately wanted to help. I have been wanting to get more involved locally And this show was just a perfect way to support local creatives and artists, with being one myself. You can reach us at tewdesignstudio.com if you have a project coming up. You can also follow us on Instagram under at TEW Design Studio for any design inspiration or tips or anything you might want to see.